If you wanted to know the ins and outs of being a security officer in a corporate setting, you came to the right place. I've been a security officer for many years, so I'm going to share the things that I've learned to do, the things I've learned not to do as a security officer. Wow, that's amazing. What's going on, HE family? And if you're new to the channel, this is the Human Experience, where we talk tips that can possibly make you money to topics that can possibly save you money and everything in between. So let's get right to it. So sometimes like they would have you at a booth, at a location that's, let's just say in a lobby or receptionist desk in a lobby. And the cameras are on you, like they're watching you every second. And I didn't like that. Sometimes I have to do patrol, either in a parking lot or patrol the hall. I would like the parking lot patrol because I would get in a little golf cart and just patrol around. That would be my time to be pretty much by myself, unless someone was in the cart with me. Outside of that, I would be working the lobby, watching people come in the door, scanning them, checking in badges, giving them new badges if they lost their badge. Because the shifts that I was working was during the day, so everyone was there. So, I mean, you may like to be in those places where they, a lot of traffic, a lot of things going on, so time can go by for you. A lot of times when you're in settings like that, like corporate settings with security, it's going to be political. It's about who you know and what you know. So, for instance, I was working at that location, but the security officer company that hired me didn't call the shots. They had like a head of security for that corporation, and he would oversee all of the security matters for that headquarters. And so it was like you had to be in good with that person in order for you to secure your position, in order for you to be able to kind of say, okay, I don't really want to be in lobby 4. Can you put me in lobby 3? Because he might like you more than he liked the other person, right? So he'll move that person before he'll move you if you want to be there, or he'll let you do some things that the other person can't do. That's something I learned, especially looking back at the situation, that establishing those relationships with the people that pretty much run the show, quote unquote, is very important. I'm not telling you to kiss up to nobody. I just got in good with a security guard lady that had a little pool with the head of security guy, and they just put me in that circle, quote unquote, that allowed me to have a little more privilege in that setting. One thing I would also say is all employees aren't equal. All titles aren't equal. They might give you the green light to say, check this person, pat them down, and make sure that these people don't come in without a badge. But then somebody like an executive comes in, you checking for their badge. Why are you checking for their badge? Well, that's what I thought I was supposed to do. You don't check executives. Y'all didn't tell me that. Like little stuff like that. So all things aren't equal when you work in security, and situations like that, you gotta know. Sometimes they don't tell you until it actually happens. And sometimes that might cost you a job and you ain't know. It's like, I didn't even know. Why did you fire me? One thing that I did in corporate that could have got me fired, at this headquarters campus, it was like probably 4 or 5 buildings where I worked like the main lobby. The executives would come through that door that I secured, and I would check people in. One of the CEOs came through the door and he didn't have his badge, and they would always get on to us about checking for badges, not letting people get through that didn't have a badge. And sometimes they would test you by trying to see if they can sneak by without having a badge. This guy came in, didn't have a badge. I'm like, sir, where's your badge? So I had him come to the desk and I made him a badge. I didn't even look and see who he was. I'm like, okay, made him a badge, gave him a badge, and he was cool about it. But later on, I got a call to the lobby like, we need to talk to you, whatever. And then it was like, the guy you gave a badge to, it's like, that was the CEO. And it was like, you should know who that was, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I didn't know. Nobody tell me. I ain't got a sheet. I ain't have a picture of the CEO in front of me, so I never knew until then. I'm like, dang, okay, I could have got fired because I had good standings with the head of security and the CEO wasn't like tripping on what I did, I was able to stay. People would get fired for little stuff, like little stuff. They just, okay, we don't want him no more. And the security company that I worked for would send somebody else. We don't like that person. That's not a good fit. If you're getting value out this video, show some love and smash the like, subscribe, and bell notification to get the latest HE content. That security location you worked at may not want you there, but the security company you're working for may still need you. So instead of firing you, instead of that security company firing you, what they would do is say, hey, we got another location for you. We're gonna move you here. So you didn't actually get fired. They just took you off that site and put you at another location due to the fact that that site didn't want you there anymore. As a security officer, working like corporate, more at some locations than others, but from my experience, politics were at play, especially working in a corporate environment. Saying that to say you have to know who you're working with, knowing who to get along with. All that stuff matters when you're talking about, working those type of environments. So the reason why I quit working security wasn't because I did anything wrong. It was only because of these things right here. So at the time I was throwing my twist working security, and then my twist started getting longer. Eventually I started locking it up, so they were getting longer and longer, and they just didn't want to hire me after that. And I was calling like, do y'all have another location for me? They may have said we still looking, but they never put me on another post, another location. So I'm just like, obviously they don't want me working. And I went to other security companies and they were like, well, you got to cut your hair. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm good. Thank you, but no thank you. So I start filing for unemployment. And then when I filed for unemployment, the company that I worked for disputed trying not to pay it. And then so we had to go to court. I don't know, unemployment court. I don't know what they call it. And so I ended up winning that case because I had evidence to show, okay, I was working, and then they stopped giving me assignments. And so that's why I had to file for unemployment, because I didn't have any income, So that's kind of how I faded out of working as a security officer. Like I said, it wasn't because I got fired. It was only because these things. Like I said, I started with twists. Now they're like this. If you're looking to get security guard gear, check out my link below, and you can choose from a whole list of items that you can purchase today. Check it out. So I hope you got value out this video, and if you did, smash the like, subscribe, and bell notification to get the latest HE content. And wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.